Welcome back to the Tonyo Show. We on the road to 200 subscribers. If you're not already subscribe to the gang. Alright, today I'm gonna give you a little. I got another banger for y'all today. Today I wanna touch on a subject or whatever. It's just a little short video, or whatever. I wanna give y'all opinion on this topic I've been seeing lately, and the topic is: do y'all feel like the music has like a negative or a positive influence on today's youth? You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like the drill scene and the constant music of talking about the dead homies and niggas is dissing their dead homie, they dissing their ops dead homies, and the consistent music of like murder and talking about bitches and whores and shit like that. And I just want y'all honest opinion because I had a conversation with somebody at my job about this earlier. Right? Hold on. I had a conversation about this earlier with somebody or at work or whatever, and I just want y'all honest opinion. My honest opinion, I say yeah and no. The reason why I say yeah is because you have the people who really don't have people to look up to as far as like father figures or like homies and shit in the hood or big father figures and shit in their life. So it's like they listen to certain artists, they listen to certain music, and kind of feed off it in a sense. Like let's say for instance, right, you got people who like Dirt and you got people who like Young Boy. And I see it all the time on social media, like when I get on YouTube or whatever, I see people say, you know what I mean, kind of like pick sides as far as the beef goes, which I mean, if you're a young kid or whatever, I understand, you know what I mean, you doing that. But if you're a grown ass man and you picking sides, it's like kind of corny for that. Especially because of the fact that you don't know these motherfuckers, you know what I mean? But I feel like the music does play a part because you have people that will literally listen to certain artists or listen to certain music and kind of like try to go out there and kind of recreate exactly what the artist is saying in a sense because I'm not gonna lie, like growing up when I was a kid, I was a little bit more influential. So I bet like when I say influential, I'm saying like let's say like there was certain artists back in the day I grew up listening to that made me want to get money. So like if you like back in the day, like when Jeezy came out, Jeezy made that shit sound so like I mean don't get twisted. Jeezy had a way of saying it to where it makes you want to go out there and do some of the shit he was saying. You know what I mean? Like he made you want to go get some money. He made you want to go sell drugs or you know what I mean, be an entrepreneur or whatever the kids gonna be is. You had positive influences back in the day too, but you still like my whole purpose of saying this is like they always try to make it say like certain generations is worse than other generations, but at the end of the day, my generation is not as good. You know what I mean? It's not no better or any worse than this generation because at the end of the day, my generation, we had niggas that was still talking about selling drugs, still talking about fucking a whole bunch of different females, still talking about the exact same shit we were talking about today, but the whole talking about the dead ops is kind of new. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I mean, Chicago when Dirk and them was coming out, whatever. That was like the first time I ever heard niggas talking about their dead ops or joking about smoking on their dead ops and shit like that. But I mean, me personally, I mean, I do kind of wish we had a bit more positive music, but I mean, I feel like we're in a time right now, like we have music for everybody. You have music, you have artists that's still dropping that's from back in the day for the older generation. Then you got the niggas who like the drill shit. Then you got, you know what I mean, the female rappers that's coming out here with some hits and shit like that. So, I mean, in a sense, music does have a negative influence on some of the youth because you have certain artists, like the female artists, that talk about sex all the time or talk about using niggas for money and I can't fuck with a nigga who broke da 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 da, and that kind of leaves a negative vibe on these females too. That's why it's kind of hard for you to find a genuine person because you never know. You know what I mean? Because they listening to this music and it's already getting into their head, so they like, okay, I can't fuck with no broke nigga. I'm gonna fuck him just because he got money. I'm gonna say fuck the nigga who I've been rocking with. You know what I mean? Or like you got certain artists that talk about their dead homies and shit, dead ops and shit, and make niggas really think that shit cool. And I'm not saying I know better because I listen to that shit too, and then some of that shit be hard, low key. But I be feeling bad singing it because you know what I mean? Because they're talking about legit people who passed away. But in a sense, I'm just singing the song. You know what I mean? I'm just looking at it as like I'm singing the song. I'm not looking at it as like I'm dissing the people because I don't know none of these people in real life or whatever. I never met none of these people. But I do feel like it has a negative influence in case, you know what I mean? Because the people, like let's say, right, you got Ronnie from Norfolk or some shit. He listen to Lil Durk. He might listen to that shit and be like, okay, I can make that same kind of music and become that successful and but never live that fucking life that Dirk has lived or lived like that person. So he puts all his time and effort into making that kind of music because he know he can end up being successful because you know the world feeds off negativity. In a sense, like you know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like, and I say no because if you got people like me myself for real, I don't feel like I had like the music really had a negative vibe on me because I I've done my dirt. I've done a lot of hot shit or whatever, but I've also changed my whole life around to the point where all I'm doing is working and coming home, working and coming home, working and coming home. So it's like I could have went the whole opposite way. I could have just stayed in the streets, stayed doing hot shit, stayed doing dumb shit. But I was able to turn my life around and make it in a positive light. So in a sense, I feel like you just have to have a strong mind. Like you have to have a strong mind, a strong will, not to do the same stuff that you're hearing in this music. But then I feel like it is also saying, like if you saying like the music having a negative influence on the community, you know what I mean, in the youth, it's kind of like taking away the creativity in the art of the music. Because a lot of these rappers just rapping about shit they seen, they done, or they been around, or they might even be telling the story the whole time. You never know, but I feel like at the end of the day, we do need a little bit more positive music out here. You know what I mean? You need like more Kendrick Lamar music coming out, more J. Cole music coming out, more Cordae music. But and you do have rappers that still coming out with positive shit. People just pay attention to the negative shit, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, I just want to know how y'all feel about the music and if it has a negative or a positive effect on the youth. Let me know in the comment section below. We on the road to 200 subscribers. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to the gang. I'll see you on the next video. We out.